Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. More Big Juice content as we gear up for another season. Had a couple different people throw their picks and stuff in the hat for potentially some crazy Tera captains. And wanted to throw my picks in here as well. I'm going to kind of focus on some more of the lower tier Pokemon, I would say. There are a couple of higher tier picks, but I'm going to focus on some lower tier stuff. And a couple lower tier stuff, and then some mons that I think are just underrated in general for Tera. So, let's talk first about sort of an honorable mention to a mon that I think has a ton of potential, but would just have to be in the hands of the right person who is going to know how to use it. So let's talk. Oh, we're gonna reconnect here. Here we go. All right, let's talk about Xurkitree. Obviously, Regieleki is Tera banned. This thing has the potential in the right hands to be better than Regieleki. Now, why do I say potential? Because, when we take a look at the stats here, this mod can't really take a hit, and this is the main thing right here, is this 83 speed stat. Does not get agility, does not get any way to boost its speed in any way. Just kind of rough in general to use. Because you get things like Tail Glow, which would be crazy, just to hit things super hard. You get screens, so it can be like a sort of semi-support mon. Toxic is weird. But there are a couple things you can do. The main, reason I say that it can be better than Regieleki is it does have the ability to hit ground types. But giving this mon the ability to, go even further with its electric stab, possibly even go ice, so you get that better bolt beam coverage. You do get hidden power ice, but obviously, Tera Blast, better move. Free up a move slot as well. You can go Tera Fire, Tera Ground, so you can better hit steel types. Giving this mon that one more coverage move to have the ability to hit things just a little bit harder would be very nice. Now, I would say the main set's a weird word for Xurkitree, but one of the main ways to get this up would be either a berry, or I would say this. So this is a set that with Tera I think could be ridiculous, because you would just go Tera Blast for whatever your move is, or for whatever your typing is. You go Thunderbolt, and then you go, let's just say Dazzling Gleam for dragons. So, now you have your coverage move, you got your stab, and you've got, this for dragons, and you have this to boost your speed. So, you're getting up there with, 291 at +2. If you miss the hypnosis, great. If, hopefully with whatever Tera type you have, you can live with maybe some investment stuff, because its HP is decent, usable. Defense is not so much. But yeah, this mon would take a lot more work, I would say, than a lot of the other Tera captains that have been talked about. So, I can definitely see that as a reason why somebody would not pick up Xurkitree. But, I mean, if you get this Hypnosis off and it misses on like a switch in or something like that, and then you get a Beast Boost for special attack, I mean, you are just killing everything. I mean, especially like a nice late game Xurkitree could definitely do a lot. Maybe you get some Sticky Web support. Maybe you get some Tailwind support, stuff like that. Get Xurkitree in. It's also a pretty good Choice Scarf Mon. Obviously 83 is not very good, especially anymore. But catch people off guards. Go Tera Electric with Volt Switch. That sort of thing. Xurkitree. I'd be very interested to see someone pick up Xurkitree and actually use it as a Tera Captain, because this thing's got potential. That's what I want to highlight is potential for sure. The next mon I want to talk about, I want to keep going with the electric types. I think this is probably the second best mon on this list, I would say. And that's our boy Raikou. Now, Raikou, in and of itself already, has some pretty good coverage for what it can get. It's just, again, kind of highlighting the fact that having just more coverage, and realistically, I mean, Bolt Beam coverage, two of the best typings in the game to have together. So you get rid of Hidden Power Ice, you go Tera Blast, or you just, maybe your opponent doesn't have the very best ground type or electric type switch-ins, and you get to get Raikou in and hit Tera Electric, Thunderbolts, and Volt Switches. And even then, if you wanted to run a more defensive Raikou, 90 HP, 100 Spit F. Not bad at all. Pretty much, Calm Mind, Agility. Maybe you invest a lot into bulk and have a better typing into their team than just straight electric. And, now you don't have to invest a whole lot in speed because you have agility. Just a good mon. Not really too much to say about Raikou. Specs, Scarf, Expert Belt, Life Orb. If you want to bulk your set, you can go Leftovers. Or just normal heavy-duty boots stuff. Like, Raikou is just a good mon by itself, where this is one of those mons where I probably really didn't have to say anything about it, but I feel like it can probably slip through the cracks as just another decent electric type, or a good electric type. No, just wanted to highlight my boy, because I've used Raikou a lot in the past, and this is a very good mon. 115 speed tier is nothing to scoff at. 115 special attack is fantastic. And again, just giving him more coverage, because 80 power moves, decent. Maybe you're going Tera Psychic for better extra sentries, but yeah, there you go. So, Tera Ground would be good, just so you can better hit steals. I know you have Aura Sphere, so maybe you just go Tera Fighting. But, coverage. Alright, let's move on from Raikou, because Raikou is a little bit, he's pretty self-explanatory for what it is, but just a good mon. Alright, so now we're going to get into probably the 3 picks that I have, 3 or 4, excuse me. Yeah, that's 6 mons here. So, let's start with probably the next one that, I think will get overlooked, but it could be good, is Celebi. Now, kind of a meh ability, but it can be good if you know that your opponent is using status moves. Base 100 everything, because it's a pixie. You can get rid of this absolutely dog typing. Mixed attacker. Can be bulky. It can be, Stealth Rock, Leech Seed. It can be screens. You can Swords Dance. You can do so much with this mon. I mean, I really enjoy Celebi. Now, your move pool, in terms of the physical side, isn't really the best. But, you know, you've got pretty much all the stab stuff that you would need. Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade. You can get Sucker Punch. You can get Priority with this U-turn. Typing that would be really good for Celebi is Rock. Rock-type Celebi. With Terra Blast. Gets rid of almost all of your weaknesses. I think it actually... Whoops. I think it does get rid of all of your weaknesses. Gets rid of Bug. Gets rid of Fire. It's mainly coming from Grass's weaknesses because Grass kind of sucks as the typing. But basically, you don't die to U-turn anymore, and you don't die to Flamethrower anymore. So, it can just be a super good... It's just so versatile. Excuse me. That this thing can be an offensive sweeper one game. It can be just a wall breaker the next game, and then the next game after that, it is a straight up, I'm going to stall you out because I just have a typing that, you know, it goes fairy, it goes steel, just that sort of thing. It has the ability to use that movesets to do that. You know, there's a lot of pixies that you could highlight because I think the vast majority of them are you can Tera. I think Celebi is just one of the ones that will get overlooked because of its terrible original typing and kind of its lackluster ability compared to the other pixies. But I really like Celebi. It's my favorite pixie, so maybe I'm a little biased. But I would love to see someone pick up Celebi and make it a Terra Captain and do very well with it. Because this mon, the potential with especially a lower tier pixie, the value that you can get out of this with Terra is kind of crazy. All right, moving on. We're kind of skimming through these things pretty quick. I know I don't have like sets or anything for them. I'm just talking more in general about the mons. So yeah. Let's go to this. Now this, I wouldn't even necessarily say this is underrated. It's just a lower point mon that I think is fantastic with Terra. We've seen it in a couple of YouTube draft leagues with some crazy, some crazy sets, but Espeon with the ability to Terra, it's already great coverage that it has. Bug, Ghost, you get Power Gem, Rock, Grass, Fairy. Making just another Sylveon is kind of crazy. And a faster one, a base 110 Sylveon. Obviously not as bulky, but that can definitely be changed. I mean, a Leftovers, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss set could be crazy, especially if you have Terra Fairy, so this is even stronger. Just has a ton of options, just really versatile mon in terms of what it can do with Terra. Getting rid of psychic typing is always nice because that means you're less knockoff weak, you're less U-turn weak. Just, a good typing offensively, but just defensively not there at all. Just giving this mon the ability to change off of that horrible defensive typing. And you also get Magic Bounce. So you get a hazard prevention with this mon as well. Synchronize is nice if you're going to more bulky Espeon. Because you can kind of invest in, its HP and its defense and just do the speed how you need it. And then use like Calm Mind or something for your special attack. So, more options is always nice, especially when you, like I said, you can make this like just a second Sylveon that's a lot faster and is more offensive in terms of what it can do, because Sylveon's kind of limited by its move pool. So again, lower tier Tera Captain. Do you want to pick Espeon over Hoopa, Iron Hands, Hydreigon? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but very good on here with Tera. Now the second best Mon that I have on here that I would say, and this would be super underrated, is Ribombee. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and go, well, Ribombee, its defenses are just not there, and you're always going to get one shot by everything, even if it's a neutral hit. But its ability, Shield Dust, paired with Quiver Dance, if you get this Mon to even +1, it becomes a serious threat, because you can kind of just mess with your speed enough to where +1 will outspeed a lot of stuff, because you already will at base with 124, that you can kind of go a little bit bulkier with this Mon as well with like the HP. Your defense not all that good, but your special defense 70 is like decent, sort of usable. If you go, let's just say you go like Tera Ground, because the main thing that stops you is steals. Steel type Pokemon just completely stop Ribombee from doing anything. Now with Tera, that's no longer an issue. You can go Tera Fire, you can go Tera Ground, you can go Tera Fighting. All of these things. And now you're going to turn them on that gets hardwalled by something into, okay, now I'm +1 and I have a move that can hit you super effectively. Now what? Because even before, Steel type Pokemon that weren't really specially defensive based can just kind of switch into Ribombee. You do have hidden power and stuff like that, but let's be honest, you're really not breaking like any good Steel type Pokemon with hidden power, flying or sorry, not flying, fighting. So yeah, giving this thing access to Tera Blast with ground or fighting is just ridiculous. It can be a late game sweeper, wall breaker, and then sometimes you'll just bring the standard Sticky Whip set. But this thing, Tera kind of would turn Ribombee from being just this, if I can get rid of their Steel type, then Ribombee has a chance to actually do some pretty good damage. It turns you into not having to worry about that. So you kind of have another like Regieleki effect where it's like, if I get rid of their ground type, this thing kind of goes in. And you look at 95 special attack, and it's not really all that much, but 95 special attack with a Quiver Dance, and you can go like Life Orb, and you don't really have to invest a whole lot in the speed because you get +1 with this. So you can go like, this thing can get out of hand really quickly, really easily. This one I think is going to be super underrated. Now again, do you want to use your Tera on Ribombee over some of the very, very higher things? I think this would put Ribombee on the level of some of those Mons. If you're talking about those Mons without Tera. And even with Tera, I think that this could rival some Mons up top. So, keep Ribombee in your sights, because it's literally just one Tera type away from, one Tera type, one Quiver Dance away from just absolutely 6-0ing you. All right. And here we are coming toward the end of the video. was talking in general chat the other day about I think we fucked up. And I would be very interested to see everyone else's takes on this mon that I'm about to bring up. This mon with Tera. This thing genuinely scares me for how annoying it could be. So let me just pull it up. Let's talk about Tera Petrarant. The only counter to this mon, much like Rabombi, was steel types. Now you can hit steel types with ghost moves, but you can't really do anything that Petrarant wants to do. If you give this mon the ability to get rid of its ghost typing because of knockoffs and just ghost not being a fantastic defensive typing. I mean, if you give this thing the ability to Tera fighting, I mean, it, like, if you're just running Tera Blast fighting, and then, what's its thing called? Malignant Chain? Yeah. I mean, with these stats, 160 defense. This thing gets Nasty Plot. It gets Parting Shot, so it can be like an annoying, Curse, Memento. Obviously, you have the Toxic and Recover stuff that you can do. Just the sheer amount of annoyance that takes to kill this mon. And also, you're getting rid of its Earthquake weakness. Because, unless you want to go Tera Poison and you're doing Scarf Max Special Attack Malignant Chains. Which, again, this mon can be a sweeper. I mean, more so a wall breaker than a sweeper. But it can definitely put some dents in some teams. And, if you get this Malignant Chain off, and then your Poison Puppeteer, and then now your Steel types can't even wall it. This thing is an issue. This thing is not okay, actually. Like, very not okay. I mean, everything is usable. I know this is not like the most amazing stat line ever. You don't really ever have to touch this. You just do this, and you can do like this, and this, and boom, there you go. There's your stat spread every game. But in all seriousness, this thing in the right hands, especially in a best of one setting, is dangerous. I don't think this thing should be able to Tera. You just get rid because Poison Ghost is like, it's an interesting defensive typing because neither one of these typings are like fantastic defensively, Ghost being one of the worst actually. But getting rid of its Earthquake weakness, knockoff weakness, everything like that. Obviously if you're tearing away from poison as well, you can't use Black Sludge anymore, but who cares, you use leftovers because there's no item clause. So, wow, dude. I'm kind of speechless for how crazy this is because, if you Tera fighting, or you Tera fire, or you Tera ground, you do any of that, Tera water, just for a more defensive typing. If you do anything that can get rid of the steel types, Or even if you Tera Ghost and just nasty plot and hit Shadow Ball. I mean, you've even got like Recover and Nightshade options and Parting Shots. You get momentum off this mon unless they have Clear Amulet, and like I don't know. I'm scared. I kind of wanted to gatekeep this. I'm not gonna lie, because I think this thing is evil. This could easily be Tera Captain, like, of the season, just so easily, because of how annoying it would be to kill, and the chaos it will cause in a game. Now, obviously, if you're just the most unlucky person ever, and Malignant Chain never poisons anything, that's rough, but you'll still get value out of this mon. And you could always just click Toxic. And then you get this anyways, and then they're toxic and confused, and they're having to deal with you either nasty plotting or recovering, or just hitting super effective like, I don't know. This thing's crazy. It also gets Hex, so if it poisons you, bro can go Tera Ghost, and then he can Hex you. So now you're just taking. Now you're confused. You're poisoned, and now you're getting hit for millions amounts of damage. This thing is a problem. This is the mon that I'm afraid of. Very afraid of. I wouldn't say. No, I would say a lot. I would say I'm afraid of this mon a lot more than some of the other stuff that I've seen for Tera Captain stuff. But yeah, just want to throw my my opinions in the ring with what I think could be some good underrated Tera Captains in the lower tiers, and then having some higher tier stuff like Raikou and Petrarant. But someone please pick up this mon. I mean, I might be looking at it. I might be cooking some stuff up with this, because this is just evil. I mean, especially in a best of one setting. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're going to be back for Big Juice. This next season, we're going to come back in, hopefully pick up some of our boys, get a new squad going, and do our 1000% very best to pull out this season with the chip, because it's been a minute since we've locked in for some Pokemon. So, but we've been getting some calls from the higher ups and the investors at Slitherwing headquarters, and we got to step it up. So, look forward to making some new videos for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.